There is a common misconception that for you to do something worthwhile in waste management, you need to be an entrepreneur or you need to have a career in waste management or some sort of experience in waste management. And that is what we are going to thrash as part of the Thrasher Thursday, where we are going to look at the various area of expertise, passion, knowledge that you can leverage to create an impact or income or influence in waste management. When I say area of expertise or passion or knowledge, I'm referring to, it could be engineering, computer science, electrical, electronic, chemical, metallurgy, mining, biotechnology, textile, polymer, art, science, commerce, finance, or you could even be an environmentalist, an operations specialist. You might even be in the education sector. So that is what I'm referring to as area of expertise, passion, or knowledge, where you have the knowledge. It need not be in waste management, but irrespective of the sector, that is a knowledge, the expertise that you possess. So we are going to see how you can leverage that knowledge, the skill, the expertise to do something worthwhile in waste management. I am Praveen Kumar, the creator, educator at Thrash the Trash, an online learning social platform for you to create an impact or income in waste management. Before we get into the video, let me show you how at Thrash the Trash we help you identify the niche in waste management. It's a 5-step. I'm going to take few minutes of your time before we get into the core video. Why is it important that you have to identify your niche in waste management? If you're able to identify, choose your niche in waste management, then it's going to make things much easier for you because you're going super specific. You're no more a generalist, you're becoming a specialist. That is going to help you in a lot of ways. So because of that reason, you have to identify, select your niche depending on various factors, criteria, research methodologies. Let me show you the 5-step process. Step number 1, there are varieties of waste types. That is what we are seeing every Wednesday as part of the waste type Wednesday. There are 25 plus different types of waste types: plastic, electronic waste, metal, wood, and so on, and various categories within it. The step 1 is for you to identify one or more trash types where you want to address a particular scenario, which I have covered as part of the Macro Niche Clarity Blueprint course. Step number 2, once you have identified the waste type which is part of the macro niche, then you're going to identify, select a suitable business model. Again, there are 15 plus business models that can be used in waste management. So among these business models, you will be selecting one which is suitable or which is more relevant depending on your passion, your goal, your mission or vision. So you will select the suitable business model. The next comes step number 3, the nano niche growth system, where you're going to select your nano niche, your area of expertise, the passion. That is what we are going to see in today's video. It could be science, art, engineering, finance, whatever knowledge, skill, expertise that you possess. So let's say that you are a finance person. You have some expertise in financial modeling. It could be even be accounts, or you are an engineer, chemical, electrical, electronics, computer science, biotechnology, or you might be even be a designer. So that is going to be your nano niche. So you have so far completed step 1, 2 and 3. Step number 4 is to find the synergy among the macro, micro and the nano niche. So this is going to give you the focus area, the focus group, where you want to do something worthwhile, and it could be an income or an impact or influence. And the final step, you're going to address something very specific in your focus area. So you're going to come up with a minimum viable product, solution, service or recommendation that is going to help you with your impact or income or influence. When I say minimum viable product, I'm not asking, or it is not the mandate that you have to develop or invest so much of money to make a product, a service, solution or recommendation. You can adapt minimum viable approach, lean agile model, so that you can do frugal innovation. So these are the 5 steps. So with that, let's get into the video. In today's Thrasher Thursday video, we are going to look at computer science as an area of expertise, IT or technology. I'm going to give you few idea or thought process that is going to help you understand in what way you can leverage, utilize your area of expertise or knowledge as a computer science expert, as an engineer, to do something worthwhile in waste management to address a specific problem. Let me give you general idea and why. Giving idea is very easy, but I have to give you the context, the scenario, so that you will get the clarity. Why is it, or why is there a demand, or what are the challenges associated? One idea. I'm not going to ask you to develop ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning software, for the waste management companies. Already there are many in the market, but then it's hardly used. And if you are wondering why am I saying such a statement, I'm going to explain to you. Enterprise resource planning is very predominantly used in manufacturing industry or in other industries. But you need to understand, in manufacturing or other traditional industries, in traditional spaces, what is happening is that everything is well defined, meticulously planned, right from the starting till the end, because they know what is the outcome they have to get. So accordingly, everything is planned. One change in any one variable or the material, the output is going to get affected. Because of that, tracking is mandatory, is required at every stage. Think about waste management. It's completely opposite. You can say it is a demanufacturing, opposite of manufacturing. Over here, you will not have control over the incoming raw material. Even if you go specific to your waste type, and even within that there are various categories, and even within the categories there are different product itself. The smartphone which you have is not same as mine. It could be different. So every product is different. So the incoming raw material is going to be different from batch to batch. So because of that reason, tracking, following up that much information to feed into ERP is going to be a hectic task, and it's nearly impossible to capture that much information. That means you need additional resource, experienced personnel to capture that information. So that is going to be more headache for the waste management company. And what is the benefit is going to give? In traditional manufacturing or traditional business, ERP is going to give them the KPI metrics. But in waste management, that ERP, it will help to a certain extent. But then since the incoming material is going to be different, so to what extent it is going to help? Maybe it can assist, but it may not help you with the 100% or even 90% accurate information. This is my personal opinion when it comes to ERP, especially in the waste management. And other reason why waste management company may not be so interested in ERP, especially SaaS, software as a service. Let's take two extremes. A waste management company who are claiming something but not doing it. So what do you expect from them to feed into the ERP? So that is going to expose it. How it is going to expose it? Because industry has a concern that these software as a service, somebody might use the data, whatever information they feed. The same goes for company who are actually doing something, processing something, which is going to give their confidential data in terms of recovery, in terms of pricing, in terms of the sale data. So which is going to expose their confidential information. So that is why generally waste management companies are not so confident about ERP, software as a service. So they want to keep it everything in-house. So that is with respect to the ERP. Or let's get into the next idea. ERP is at a micro level. Let's go a step up. We'll take an eagle eye view. Think about from a compliance point of view. Because of the various stringent regulation, compliance has become a new normal. It's a mandate. What about a compliance software that is going to keep track of all the waste, incoming, outgoing, what is happening, photos and videos? So it will capture from where the material is coming from, the photos or the videos, what is happening to it, what has come out of it, and to whom it has been given. So in this way, what is happening? The transparency is set. So certain part of that information, it can be shared with the company who is disposing of the waste. And now you might be asking me, the company who are skeptical about software as a service, especially in ERP, how do you expect them to use this compliance software? They may not be your direct client, the waste management company, but it is going to be the companies who are disposing the waste. They are going to be your potential clients. So they are going to use this software, and that in turn means that whoever they are disposing it of. So they have to upload in these softwares. So this is one scenario, one idea. You can just think about it. Let's go to another idea. Let's say that you have some waste at your home. If you want to dispose it of, what you tend to do? What do you do? Either you call the informal sector or the scrap dealer and ask them that I want to dispose of these waste. What are the prices? Or you might call an authorized waste management company to tell them to pick it up and what is going to be the price. What is the commonality? It's the price. So what about a system? A combination of fusion of artificial intelligence, machine learning, machine vision that is going to help in analyzing or determining the pricing of any waste. How about that? It sounds very nice, but it's not that simple. It's going to be very complicated. As I said, waste comes in varieties of shapes, size and forms. So it's going to involve a lot of data which is generally not available out there. So whatever you want to do with this, it has to be done collectively. There has to be a synergy. Then only you will be able to get that much information for your pricing to work correctly. So these softwares, this pricing system, it can be used even by the waste management companies to help them understand what is the general pricing for these type of waste. If it has to be recycled, then what is going to be the potential pricing? It will consider the factors. What is the product? What is the quality? What is the demand? What is going to come out of it? What about the market condition? So accordingly, it will decide the pricing. So any waste management company can use it, or even individuals can use it to decide what is going to be the pricing of the waste that they have at home. It can be a very generic pricing, or it can be a very specific pricing depending on the product. It's going to be on the real time, not some old outdated pricing. And even companies can use this information to understand what is going to be the pricing range when it comes to these type of waste. And you can take it one step further and tell when somebody is paying this much price, you can tell whether they're going to recycle or repair the product, because generally waste is given to the highest bidder and the company doesn't care what happens to it. But the previous compliance software we did, it's going to keep the checks and balances. It's going to become black and white. And with this pricing, the company can know that whoever is quoting the highest, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to recycle it, repair it, or resell it, or export it? So what is going to happen? So that much clarity this software can give. Again, blockchain is a very hot trending topic. It's a very hot technology. If you want to use blockchain, you can use blockchain any of the above two examples I said. It could be in the compliance so that it becomes much enhanced security can be there, and same for the pricing. So you can use any platform. Now at this juncture, if you're thinking, Praveen, you haven't told anything about mobile or web application, especially for the collection. In my previous video, I talked about collection as a business model as part of the Model Monday, and in the next video I'm going to talk about some of the do's and don'ts where I was about to talk about this, but just let me tell you the context. Since collection is a simple model, people tend to make it sophisticated and complicated by developing mobile application, web application to make it look cool. Do you think the customer is going to install your mobile application? Even if they're going to install, what is going to be the usage frequency? Do you think the customer who is going to dispose the waste is going to give you waste daily basis, if not daily, weekly basis? No. Monthly? Maybe. So they're going to dispose of once in 3 months or maybe once in 6 months. So that is what is going to happen. So then how do you expect that you will spend so much money to invest in a mobile application and then hardly few customers are using it? Because 90% of the waste management market is controlled by the informal sector and there are multiple players. So how do you expect that the customer is going to install your mobile application? Maybe you can think about a web application website that may help, because there is no installation. They can go to the website, tell these are the waste that they have, and they can select a suitable time slot where you're going to pick up the waste from them. This is just the options. But then again, if you think this can be expanded, leverage as software as a service, there are potential. But to what extent will the companies be willing to use it? A simple scheduling software that is going to tell that on so and so date the waste will be picked up or can be picked up is not going to solve it. You have to take it a step further in terms of the technology, in terms of algorithm, which is nothing but the the logistics, the scheduling part. Depending on the size, the quantity, the waste type, you can suggest the recommended logistics part. A customer might have a very small quantity of waste. There is no point in you sending a truck to the customer. Maybe you can send a two-wheeler to pick up that particular waste type. If it is too voluminous, then maybe you can think about a bigger truck. So this logistical planning can also be embedded into the application, so that it is going to help the waste management company in terms of the planning. That is going to reduce the operational cost. To survive in waste management industry, overhead cost, the operation cost, everything has to be kept lean. This is something that you have to bear in your mind. So these are some of the ideas that you can think about it. What I touched is just the tip of the iceberg. There are much more avenue scopes that you can explore. You can use different permutation and combination and think about it. What are the potential challenges, opportunities that you can address via technology, using your expertise, your knowledge, your skill, and that in turn is going to create an impact or income or influence in waste management. In the next Thrasher Thursday, I am going to talk about finance as an area of expertise or skill or passion. I'll see you tomorrow with another video as part of the Fun Friday, where we are going to talk about some of the art and craft work, challenges, fun activities that you can do with waste.